Well, hello there. I'm AJ O'Neill, and I am going to tell you a little bit about this library here. So I've been commissioned by the Dash Incubator to create a merchant wallet. So you may have seen these pay with QR codes before for different types of digital currencies online. Dash is the primo digital currency, real spendable internet money. And the way that you can receive payments from customers is basically you generate QR codes and then you get a notification that they've paid to the QR code, or you check the address of the QR code to see if they've paid, and then you give them the service for that month or that year or that license or that product or whatever it is. So I'm just going to kind of run through with how you could set this up if you want to get Dash payments set up on your site so that people that have Dash can come and pay you to be able to use your product or service or whatever it is, that you can get that done pretty quickly. Now, there are some other parts to this that don't exist yet, or that I exist but not in how to say. Anyway, this QR code bit is complete. And so I'm just going to show you. I went up here. I'm going to clone the repository. So I just copied it to clone it. I'm just going to show you how we can work with it. So first of all, git clone. We get it. This is a node project, so we do npm CI to get the install. And then there's a couple of things that you need to get set up. You'll need to have a .env and a .env.secret. The .env goes on your server. The .env.secret you keep somewhere safe. What we're going to do is create a mnemonic or a passphrase, essentially a wallet, which you can generate these QR codes for as payment addresses, and that can keep track of those. So you can use an app such as the Dash app on your phone or other digital currency wallets to be able to track via this thing. So I'll just go ahead and show you what it looks like here. So it's just 12 words. And those 12 words are the wallet. You can import them into an app, and it will keep track of all of the payments that you receive on any of the addresses that are generated. So with that said, the next thing that we need to do for integrating with your server is we need to generate what's known as an extended public key. So you don't put the private key, the wallet, on your server. You just put this extended public key, and it allows you to create many, many different public payment addresses that are essentially anonymized, so that any individual address or even a group of addresses don't convey the information of who you are, or what your primary public key is, or what your primary private key is. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and run. All of this is documented in the README, but there's another command that's xpub key to env. And now let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to show the env. It starts with xpub 6. And it's just this long string here. And this has information about how to create addresses. And this is what you would put on your server. Now the addresses, they index at 0, and then they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. They're sequential. And so every time you need to initiate a payment, you create a new address. Now what I'm going to do, and potentially you could have the same address for a single customer if you wanted, and then every time they pay to that address, you get the notification and you know it's to that account or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you what creating an address looks like. So I'm going to do node adder from pub 0. So this is index 0, the 0th address. And here's what that address looks like. Whoops. It's not what I meant to do. Let's see if I can get this here. I'm actually going to have to make this a little bit smaller so we can see the whole thing all at once. There we are. So there's our QR code. And if we want to make a suggestion of how much the customer should pay, so that they don't have to enter it in their wallet, I'm going to put 1,000th of a dash here, and I could just put dash. These by default, these addresses are dash, but you could use them with other currencies as well. So I run that, and now I'm going to use just the standard Dash app on my phone here. Let me bring this up. Oops, I need to open that again. All right, now I've got that dash up on my phone. I'm going to go ahead and scan to pay, and it pops up, and it's got the suggested amount right there. Let's see if you can see that. There we are. So all I have to do is hit send, and then confirm my PIN, and that's an instant send. It's already sent and verified. So this is ready spendable money. Okay, now if you have imported that passphrase that is the wallet into a wallet app, and you've selected that you want to use this passphrase for Dash or whatever currency you're using, but Dash is what we're using here, then it will track all of the money that's associated with those addresses, assuming that they're going in sequential order. So if it hits several in a row that have no information about previous payments, then it'll just stop. But as long as it sees that there's payments on addresses, it'll just keep going and going and going and going. So once I have imported that, I would see it in my app. I'm not going to overwrite the wallet that I already have in the app, but what I can do, if I just want to do a one-off reclamation of the payment, is there's another tool in here that's whiff from mnemonic, and I can give it the same number. I have to give it the same number as the payment address. So the payment address and the reclamation address, the numbers are paired. So if it's 0 for one, it's 0 for the other. If it's 1 for one, it's 1 for the other. It's 2 for one, 2 for the other, so on and so forth. So here is the private address that I can reclaim that money at. So I'm just going to go ahead and scan this here, and it pops up and it asks me, do you want to receive this? There we are. Well, if it would, if the phone would focus there. Anyway, it asks me, do you want to receive this? And I'm going to say, yes, I do. So now I've received it. Now I've got that money back in my wallet. But in the one case, I was emulating a customer. In the other case, I'm emulating a merchant like yourself. Okay, so that is the basic overview of how the system works. You generate addresses, you put them out for the customer to see. So I showed you here in the command line because that was pretty simple, but this also generates SVGs. So in fact, I could show you the payment address 0 that we just created here. Let me bring that over. So here it is as an SVG. So you get easy to pay with addresses. And as for how you use this in Node, everything's documented here. So this is the basic setup for creating your XPub key that you do locally. And then you could print out that key, or like I said, import it, the passphrase. That you could generate your passphrase and either print that out or import it into WAL or whatever. And then the XPub key is what you'd put on your server that you can use to generate addresses by an index. So every time you need a new payment, just increment by 1 and then go from there. You can show that. I gave the example of ASCII, but you can use the SVG, or you can use the ASCII if you want to do that. And then generally you won't be using the WIFs, the wallet import format. You'll only be using the payment addresses. But just like I showed you, if you want to do a one-off, a test, make sure everything's working right, you can do that as well. And then you've got the config information that's needed for you can figure out how you want to do the configuration on your own, but this is the example configuration I showed here is exactly this process that we went through, so that the passphrase is available on process.env, and then we can create the wallet using that. One other thing is that there is a coins.json right now. It just has dash in it, but you can look at that format. Let me go ahead and open it up actually. So we could look at that format, and you can copy that format. And if you have another type of currency that you'd like to support, you just put in the 3 variables that are necessary for that. So in the case of Dash, public addresses are of type 4C, private addresses are of type CC, and the coin type itself is 5. So that's the kind of information that if you wanted to use this for things other than Dash, that's how you do it. But you create this by default, you just use a Dash wallet. And yeah, we have all the examples for everything that we just explored right here. And then coming up, I already have the prototype for this, but I don't have a nice, neat package module yet, is the piece that will actually allow you to get those webhooks so you can be notified as soon as the payment goes through within 2.5 minutes that the payment's been confirmed. And in the future, we'll have that instant so that as soon as the person scans it, you'll within a matter of a second or two, you'll get that notification. Anyway, so I hope that this is a good explanation. This is new to me as well. So if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them here down in the comments below, or you can leave them in the issues on GitHub, and I'll be happy to engage with you and help with how I can. And if you've got some better suggestions for how to do some of these things, feel free to reach out and let me know that as well. So that all said, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you got them. Follow and sub if you want to, and I'll catch you later. Adios.